course.
Secondly, the most important thing I want to talk to you about is your t-shirt game. And do you have an actual t-shirt guy who makes all these different shirts with messages that you wear throughout the season, to the post-game press conferences, to practices? Because I feel like they all have a meaning.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of used, my hoodies or t-shirts as like another small way for, subliminal messaging, I think, for the organization. I think anytime you can convey a message or convey a mindset, and then I think it's another way to kind of express yourself. So I kind of enjoy that small process of doing that, and I spent a good amount of time on it.
Has the t-shirt guy ever said, wait a minute, can you explain what how do I spell that? What does that mean?
Why, which one sticks out to you?
Well, there's a lot of them. I've got a long list on a sheet of paper next to me, but
Okay.
we saw, but first let me thank God. We saw the
That's important. I mean, I didn't make that one. I bought it, but that's important.
All right. We saw the Bill Russell and Red Auerbach.
I mean, that was a trip. That was someone sent me that during the season, and I was like, I'm not honored, or I don't deserve to wear this unless.
But that day.
We did, but I mean, I still didn't feel.
Yeah, it was like a cigar that you tucked away for the championship
yeah,
parade.
exactly.
All right.
Yeah, so it was kind of just paying homage. I think when you take a look at I keep saying it, but like for however long we're here, we're responsible to carry the organization forward because what those guys did, we wouldn't be here without them. So it was, just kind of paying my respects to the people that came before you,
Why does that matter so much? You could be coaching anywhere. You could be coaching an expansion team, a team that had just started, a team that doesn't have a history. Why is it important for 23-year-olds who are in the NBA and haven't necessarily heard? Why is it important when they put this uniform on to know about Bill Russell and Red Auerbach and the history of the organization?
I mean, I would say because of the success, but not just on the court. I would say, if you're going to play here, if you're going to work here, every organization is always looking for people to be a part of something bigger than themselves. And the only way to understand that is to understand the history. And, because of the way the organization has been run for years and years and years, there's a reason why things are the way they are now. And it's because of, the past, whether it's successes, whether it's failures. But mostly it's the people that come across here. And I thought that was also important after we won. I wanted to make sure that all the people that worked here between the spaces of 18 and 24 get the same amount of credit that we got, because they were planting a ton of seeds that were probably, more important at that time that just took a little bit of time to come to fruition, And so when you work for this team, there's a burden, there's an expectation, there's a responsibility, but it's because of, how it's been run for such a long time and the success that players and coaches and people around the organization have had on and off the court. And, that's what you want. You want to be a part of that.
And speaking on that, not many, I don't know if this is public, and I'm going to make it public in a private way, but you, in a way, you thanked every single person in the organization after the season ended for all the hard work that's put in. I've never experienced that from a player or a coach who's ever come through these doors in the 16 years that I've been here. So thank you for that. But what made you want to do that?
No boss has ever thanked you for anything you've ever done. So
and nor will it ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you also shouldn't want to be thanked for anything. You should just do it because you're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
But I thought it was important because when you have everybody in the right seat on the bus heading in the right direction, great things can happen. And I also see it's easy for parts of the organization to feel less than or not as valued as others. And at the end of the day, if everybody's not trying to be the head coach in their role, we can't achieve high level of a successful organization, and not counting wins. And so it was just important that everybody knew, everything they do is the most important thing for the team, for the organization. And the second piece of that is there's so many interactions that, because of these organizations are getting so much bigger, there's so many interactions that the players have before they even get to the court, And if you don't value those interactions, like I was saying, like Nate Eckley is the first person, he sees everyone come in the door. And so the way he carries himself
here at the Auerbach Center, just so everyone knows.
The way he carries himself is super important. The kitchen staff usually see the guys first because they go right there before. And so the way they cook, how they greet that's going to make an impact on how the guys perform. And then if you walk through a player's perspective of our building, they usually see Nate first, and then they see the kitchen staff, and then they may see some of the front office sitting in that little pool area, and then they see the sports science and we're the last people that they see. And so every interaction that is had is super important to them getting on the floor, ready to feel valued, but also ready to we got to be at our best.
Mm-hmm.
This idea, what you just said, I guarantee you there are people that heard it that never looked at it that way, that never looked at going to work that way. It's not unusual, I would imagine, for people to hear you say things they have never heard before. That probably happens a lot.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. It's just a different perspective.
But
right?
So where did it come from? Why do you know that? Where did you learn that? All of the different things that you say that make people go, I never thought of it that way. They must have come into your brain somehow, some way.
I don't think what anyone's doing is new. I just think it's fresh in people's minds. There's people that have come before you that do it, and then they go away, and then a group of people do it, and then they go away. And so, it's no different than what people are doing or saying or have been going on for years. It's just this is in the space now. So you just try to learn from the past as much as you can, and how can you replicate the past, learn from the successes and failures. When I got the opportunity to come here, I wanted to tie the entire organization together. Like, how could we be a world-class organization, not just a basketball team? And I enjoy that challenge more than I do the basketball, is like the holistic leadership approach towards just the people. But I tell you what really hit me is when I first met Pep, I was studying, we were having our conversations, and when I went over there, not interviewed, but like any person I asked, I was like, tell me one thing good and one thing bad about him. Like anyone, the equipment manager, the person at the front, like I was just asking random people. And they told me a story about they were going for their, I can't remember what championship they were going for, but he had a meeting with the entire organization. And he essentially said, I'm the last person the players see. They see all of you. And so if you don't value your job or value your, interaction with the player, then it's going to cost us a championship, because they may feel tired. And if you don't uplift them, then they're not going to be able to play at their best. And he, I learned from him is how to be this 360 leader of the entire team. He still brings his own loop down to the equipment manager when he's done with a workout. And so you just learn from different people. And he has had a major impact on me, even more than the soccer stuff, is the humility that he brings to success, over and over again.
This is a new generational idea of crossing over sports. You're talking about Pep Guardiola. You've been with Alex Corey. You've been with Gerard Mayo. You've been everywhere. And that is a perfect example of something. What is there to be gleaned from the way that other sports, and it could be outside of sports, it could be how other organizations, it seems like there's an endless supply of ideas to draw from, and that while it seems like, wow, Joe Mazzulla's going here and he's going there, it almost seems like there aren't enough days to do as much as you would want to do.